How's it going today, guys? I'm Gamer Lynn.
I'm Gamer Becka.
And you guys are watching 10 times 10. Today is November 12th, 2018.
When we are recording this.
And basically, an icon has passed as Stanley at the age of 95 has passed away.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But granted, it's a kind of suck that is, of course, everybody's mourning. Everybody's sad, but also too, I mean, that's 95 years of somebody's life that has contributed so much to so many people that, I don't know, it's something to celebrate.
It is. A celebration of his life, honestly. And that's what we are here to do.
I mean, by all means, if you feel you need to mourn, you feel sad, there's a lot to be, but
yeah.
I don't know, I feel like here at 10 times 10, we rather reflect on the good and what such an icon in the industry really meant for the better. Like, for example, I used to be a really big comic book guy, but Gamer Lynn, I'm way more of a gamer, so
comic book Lynn.
That'd be weird. Like, see, it don't got that same ring to it.
Comic Lynn.
Comic Lynn. Maybe make a sub thing to that one day. Yeah. But I mean that, like this example of how far comic books has come from your way back in the day comic book pages of old. Now the media has evolved and comic books that's finally broken through the mold of just being on pages. Now it's in your video games, it's your movies, different other things like your figures, your books, like your RPG tabletop games, your board games. We live in a day and age where kids are learning how to read through comic books. Kids are getting their greatest inspirations by these great and bigger than life characters on how to live and how to be a good person or a better person, to how to fight back evil. And I don't mean like go out there and shoot web, or how do you as a person in your day-to-day life try to make the world a better place by saying no to certain things that is destructive in the world or in your life personally. How do you do that?
Right.
And they learn it through these comic books. They learn it through these movies.
Morals.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing that Stan Lee with his life was able to do and introduce. It's really hard to go somewhere and not see the influence, not to see how far the media has come. I mean, Civil War is probably one of my favorite comic books. I didn't even fully get to read. Like I think I read most of the main books, and there's so many off-branching books out there. But such a great story with so many messages in it, and it transcends it. I got the tabletop RPG book right here. We get the figurines, and even right now I have one of my favorite Spider-Man books with Ultimate Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Who would have thought one day there'd be African American, a black Spider-Man, and it's there, it's real. You can go out there and you can read it, you can buy it. He's even a staple now in the universe, and all the different other icons there is out there. Like personally, my favorite Marvel character through and through is Gambit, and it's just amazing to me how far that storyline went from him being a part of X-Men to becoming his own comic book, his own entity outside of X-Men. Even though he done great things in X-Men, I mean, basically the love relationship he had with Rogue that is totally almost not there anymore now, it seems. I was actually upset about that too. I was like, what? Like, that used to be that was the go-to. Like, I guess it was more in the cartoon.
She was bae.
Yeah, she was Gambit's bae. I guess that was more in the TV show kind of thing, wherever. But I mean,
but at the same time, it's like the Marvel universe and like most comics, anyways. Like, there are so many universe like resets.
Yeah.
And so many like different like variations of the timelines and everything like that. So then they got to explore stuff like, oh, well, what if these characters like got together? What if these characters? What if this character was evil? Like that sort of thing. It's awesome. My favorite, starting out, and actually still is Storm. Because when I was just a wee tot, I had a friend, next door neighbor, who introduced me to what was the first installment of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, which at the time when it came out was called X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and then they expanded. But yeah, that was my first that was my first fighting game for one, and then that was my first time ever being introduced to Marvel. And I remember going through the roster and I was just like, I really like any of these like girl characters because there's like 2. And I was like, oh wait, who's this? And it was like, yeah, it was this brown lady with white hair and everything. And like as soon as I picked her, it was like, she has lightning powers? What is this? I was like, I could tornado you. It's so funny. It's the only person that I would pick, only character I would pick. I would beat him all the time and got so mad. But yeah, that was my first exposure to that. And I was like, who is this, Storm? Storm is my favorite. I know nothing about Storm other than her powers and that I'm winning this game. But I love her. And so... yeah, it's like as I got older and everything, like the movies came out and all of that, and I loved all of them, and just delving deeper and deeper into X-Men, you know, like through the comic books and that sort of thing, because always the books are always better. And so yeah, it was just the coolest thing, and I loved the
hands.
No, I know. It's like hands stomping on the tube. Yeah, I guess it was the social dialogue is what it was. Is what I guess what I'm looking for.
Oh man.
Yeah, so the social dialogue, like stuff you don't think about when you're a kid, but it's like whoa, you know. So that it was like even more that I could identify with, that sort of thing. So it's like not only do I have my first ever like sort of like black superhero woman that I can identify with and love, but it's like she's a part of this whole struggle of like prejudice and like it's like bro.
and that's a beautiful thing when you have characters that speak to you, and that's the thing too, because like man, thank goodness for the encyclopedias, because there's so many characters, unsung characters.
So many
that we don't even know about, or even had like that one moment and in comic book history, and you know, all these characters can relate or attach to somebody in some kind of way.
Absolutely.
Whether it be your favorite superhero or maybe your favorite villain.
Yeah.
Or you know, challenge you to think outside of the box or in the box or around the box. That's what Marvel did. That's what comic books in general did. So I say that this sucks that we lose such an icon, but also too thinking about his life and what he's done and what he's accomplished and what he means to people.
Yeah.
Also makes me think of all the great things that has been done that he meant and can be done.
Totally.
So thank you so much, Stan Lee, for being the person that you are, that you were, and what you did for such a small industry that is so huge now.
Yeah.
And so important. And thank you for showing us a way to move forward.
Absolutely. Thank you and all of the amazing people that was and are still currently like on your like that team of just artists and just masterminds to create these stories, because I'll tell you that like having that as a kid was the coolest thing, where everybody's like up here like on Sailor Moon and none of them look like me. I have Storm.
And many other characters that taught me life lessons and show me what a superhero looked like or could look like.
Totally.
Whether it was a spectrum of race, a spectrum of color,
Yeah.
dynamic movement and action that transcends the pages of comic books and is now in my household, all around me, in my movie theaters, in books that I can't even relate to comic books now, and it's going to be amazing to see how far we can push the media in our lifetimes, and even to when we all get that moment to pass on to that next life, and hopefully maybe stand in the crowd next to you and see where everything goes from there, how our grandkids and everything push the envelope, and how their comic books is going to be. It's going to be a beautiful thing, and it's our job to keep it going.
Yeah, he's passed the torch to all of us.
Yeah.
So let's do him proud, man.
Hey, there don't gotta be another Stan Lee out there. I don't think it's possible, but you know what? You can always do better, baby.
Exactly.
There can always be a 2.0 or whatever version you want to call it, the next Stan Lee that pushes the envelope. But it's up to us to keep it going so that way it's possible. And that's what Stan Lee not only did for us, but also stands for.
Yeah.
So thank you again. Thank you guys for watching this again. There's gonna be tons. It's all over mass media.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't see this thing slowing down no time soon, and it's a good thing, because I think it's good to celebrate such incredible and important life, and to do that with every life going forward.
Totally. Absolutely.
So
Wakanda forever.
Go out there and read you a comic book or watch a movie or something, man, because it's so much stuff out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess that's it.
Awesome. Excelsior!
I'm Gamer Lynn.
I'm Gamer Becka.
And we want you to keep it 10
times
times 10.